Hey everyone, Backyard Farmer Pat here. Today we're gonna talk about how to restore our garden. I'm sure this has happened to every one of us. Our gardens are looking beautiful. You are so proud of it. The flowers are blooming, the peppers are ripening, your tomatoes are covered in tomatoes. Everything is just spectacular. Then either you get busy at work for a few weeks, or it rains excessively for several weeks, or you go on vacation for a week. And in my case, all three of the above. Then you come back and your pepper trees are covered with whitefly disease, and your thyme is looking pitiful, and you just don't know. You don't know what to do. Here I have my basil is covered with brown spot, and my peppers are covered with whitefly disease. So I'm going to show you today what you can do to restore your garden after any of those above. Well, one thing that looks good is my ornamentals. My ornamentals absolutely love the rain. My red button ginger is blooming already. Everything looks lush. So today we're going to talk about how to restore your garden after neglect or after excessive rain. All right, well, I had a little bit of technical issues. My camera overheated when I was going through. I did a whole video on how to correct this issue, and my camera overheated and I lost the video. But don't worry about it. I'm gonna go through it again and show you what you need to do to get this fixed. Anyway, first of all, let's go see what we need. So to start, what we're gonna need is a clean pair of shears so that we can cut off the bad branches. We're gonna need some neem oil. You can either get the ready-made neem oil, or you can get the neem oil that you add to water. What I did was, this was actually an empty container, so I used like half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of neem oil. I filled it up with water, and I added a few drops of soft soap, like some very light soft soap. You can use Dove, you can use any organic insecticidal soap, but I just had a little soft soap that I used. So we're gonna use this to spray the plants, and then after we finish our pruning and our pruning and our neem oil, we're gonna go back through with fish fertilizer. I absolutely love this. It's very high nitrogen, and it will help all these plants to green up again. So for this, I have a 2-gallon jug that I'm gonna add maybe 2 tablespoons of fish fertilizer, and all of these things have the instructions. Here it says for vegetables, beddings, plants, 2 tablespoons per gallon. So this is about, I think this is a 2-gallon jug, so I'm going to use about 4 tablespoons. So let's shake this up, because it's very thick, and it's very stinky. So I'm just going to estimate 4 tablespoons. Yeah, that's about 4 tablespoons. And this jug was actually empty when I started the video 2 days ago. And as I said, my camera crashed. Then it started raining, and it actually got filled up with just rainwater. All right, so let's get started. First, we're gonna spray our neem oil, and we're gonna do clippings. So as I said, I started the video 2 days ago. So I'd already started some clipping, and I'd already started some spraying. So I can already see that there's a little bit less whiteflies, but you can still see the whiteflies. When you touch it, you see the little white going off, flying around, and you can also see the whiteflies. So this is trying to blossom, as you can see, but the whiteflies stunts the growth. And all of this is happening to these plants really because of the excessive rain. When you have a plant that has too much, when there's too much rain, it causes the roots to get like waterlogged, right? And for a lot of plants, they get in distress. There are 2 different things that can cause this stress. Chemicals can cause a plant to be in distress. Too much rain can cause a plant to be stressed. Not too much rain or not too much watering can cause a plant to be stressed. And what happens is these insects and bugs attack plants when they're under stress. So I'm going through, neem oil is very, very effective for multiple things. It's effective as a fungicide, an insecticide, a miticide. It kills eggs, larvae, and adult stages of insects. So it's not only going to kill the whiteflies that are adults, it's going to also kill the eggs of the whiteflies. So when you look under the leaves, you see white flies and you see these little black spots. So those, the black spots are eggs. So you're gonna see that, you're gonna notice that you're already seeing less white flies than 2 days ago when I shot that first part of the video. And that's because I'd gone through and I started spraying, and just by spraying I can already see a difference. I'm gonna cut this back. You see I picked the peppers as I go. That's gonna encourage new growth. I'm just gonna cut this back a little bit. I'd already cut back some others. I see some blossoms trying to come through on here. So this pepper tree has really been around for many years. Peppers normally just last one season, but I've had this one for a few years. I've cut it back all the way till there are no leaves in the past, but it's kind of early in the season. I'm gonna just trim it up and give it a chance to come back. I have some callalus. These are some callalus that sprung up. I didn't plant them, but they always spring up all throughout the garden. Sometimes I transfer them. I was able to transfer some recently, gave it to a friend, and she actually got breakfast. She actually ate breakfast from the callalus I transplanted. All right, so this is another red pepper. This was also covered with white flies. I sprayed it 2 days ago, and you can see it's significantly less white flies, but there are some leaves that I missed. So I'm gonna go in. It's okay to spray. This is neem oil. It's all organic. It's all natural. It's an evening time now. I'm not spraying it in the middle of the sun, of the heat. It's important to spray in the evening or early in the morning. You don't want to spray when it's too hot because it can actually damage the leaves. You see all that? That's eggs. That's eggs. So I'm spraying this well. I'm spraying under the leaves well, and I'm gonna come back in a few days and spray it again. But this is my red pepper that I planted from seed. This one hasn't borne yet. It actually had a lot of young blossoms before I went to Jamaica, but the tree is weakened. Nothing actually came up. My oregano looks good. I'm gonna give it a spritz. My turmeric looks good. And this is my purple Scotch bonnet. So as I said, I've gone through and started spraying. So most of the leaves look good, but you can see the leaves that I missed are still covered with white flies and eggs. So I'm gonna go through. You notice I'm not just spraying the top like this. This is great to spray it like this, but you have got to get to the underside. That's where the white flies hide. If you have aphids, that's also where the aphids hide. They're never on top. They're sneaky little buggers. They like to hide under the leaves. So I always flip the leaves over and spray well. See, this one is heavily infested. This one is really heavily infested. You can even like spray it with water first. I didn't do that this time. I'm just washing it, literally washing it with the neem oil. And you can see I'm being very, very generous with the neem oil. I'm hoping tomorrow when I come, I'm gonna see a whole lot less. Here's another thing I want to show you guys. You notice on some of these leaves, not only are they small, you can tell they're stunted, but they're also black. You see that black stuff? That black stuff on the leaves is actually insect poop. So when you see the leaves look dark like that, a lot of times they're white flies or aphids or something. Usually it's white flies when I see the darkness like that. So that's actually insect poop. All right, so up here, as I said, my camera crashed before. I had already gone through. There was a lot of grass and weeds hiding among the garlic chives, so I've already pulled those out, and that's something you can do. There wasn't any grass. You can see a couple of blades of the grass left, but I pulled that out to give the roots a chance to spread. Also, my mint was very dried up, so I cut it back significantly. So the mint is all cut back, and this is actually my milkweed. I don't want to spray that. So I have a lot of brown spot on my Thai basil. So what I'm gonna do first, usually I just don't have any luck with Thai basil. When you see brown spot on Thai basil or any kind of basil, if it's not heavily infested, you can remove the leaves. You can remove the leaves that have the brown spot. In this case, my Thai basil looks pretty good. If you look at it a little bit closer, you'll see that most of the leaves are still green and healthy. It's actually starting to bud here. So I'm just gonna give it a spray, and then I'm gonna go in, and for the few leaves that are brown, I'm going to remove them and you know, see if that will, if it'll come back without the brownness, without the brown spot or black spot. Some people call it black spot, some people call it brown spot, but I just know that it makes the basil look very ugly, and I believe it changes the flavor. I don't actually eat it when it's heavily infested. I just rather pull it out, but some people say it changes the flavor slightly, but it's not harmful. But I don't eat it. If it looks like this, I don't eat it. I discard it. So I'm gonna put this on a stone so I can discard it after. One thing I forgot to mention, when you're going through and pruning your garden, always have a plastic bag. Never throw infected plant material back in the garden, and never use it as mulch. Put it in a plastic bag and discard of it so it doesn't go and infect other areas. All right, so here we are at our cachucha pepper, and you guys know just months ago it was actually laden with cachucha peppers. But you can see peppers, just like mint, just like thyme and mint and oregano, they don't like wet feet, and it's been just constant rain, so you can see how haggard and tired it looks. And also you can see the leaves are black, literally black, and that's because it's been infested with whiteflies. As I said, insects attack plants that are vulnerable and that are weakened, and the excessive rain and the wet roots make these plants weak. Also, it looks like I had some kind of insect or caterpillar munching on the peppers, and these are very, very hot peppers. What I realize is that insects, it's like they don't feel the heat. There's something to eat my peppers. So I'm gonna give this a good spray. I cut this back on Friday, but I think I'm gonna cut it back some more. So I'm gonna spray the top first, and then I'm gonna go back in and spray. Ooh, see, I didn't get this far. So you can see, this is how all the peppers were before. You can see how this has a lot of whiteflies. Look at that. So I'm gonna go through and spray all the leaves, and hopefully when I check in a couple days, there will be a big difference, just like I saw on the other peppers. I have a little jalapeno here that's been giving me a jalapeno. Maybe every week or so I get a jalapeno. My son made some Mexican food yesterday using peppers from this jalapeno. So all of these peppers are pretty much laden with whiteflies, and I see some of the leaves are chewed up, so that's not whiteflies. There must have been a caterpillar on here somewhere. So I'm hoping. Wow, this one is really, really badly infested. When it's this bad, sometimes I just cut the tree back. I'm gonna cut this back to show you how I do it. And this is not gonna hurt the tree anymore much. You see, I already started cutting this. All of these spindly ones, I'm just gonna cut it back, and it's gonna come back. That's my little jalapeno right there. I'm just gonna cut it back, and in no time, this is gonna be bearing peppers again. Significantly cut back. There are a couple peppers. These peppers, I'll wash them and I'll use them. But you see, that's taking away a lot of the whiteflies out of the thing. And then let me get one more. So it's significantly smaller, but I'm not slightly concerned because I've done this in the past. Bolt! My dog is not playing nice with the neighbor's dog. All right, so I'm gonna go through, make sure you get all the leaves, because it doesn't make sense to spray some leaves and then leave others. This one is really, really bad. I may have to probably get rid of a lot more of these leaves. Yes, I'm just gonna get rid of the leaves. This one is really bad. So as bad as this looks, guys, don't worry about it. Bolt! Oh boy. All right, and here we have the basil. So you see, this basil is a lot worse than the other one. This one, I'm just gonna break. I'm just gonna take this all the way out of the garden. And yes, this basil is gone. The bottom part isn't too bad, so I'll leave that there, but I'll watch it. If I see it getting bad again, I'm just gonna remove the whole basil. The parsley, I'd already gone through and thinned out the dried up parsley, and the thyme, I did the same thing. I trimmed up the thyme. Thyme does not like wet feet at all, and even though it looks like it's actually drying out, this is really because it's in shock because of all the rain. It's been literally raining non-stop for 3 weeks, and that's really why everything that looked so beautiful just a month ago is really struggling. So I'm gonna cut this back a little bit more. We've been using our time heavily in the house, so I'm hoping it comes back. Most of these vegetables, they grow more as you you prune them. My rosemary looks good, and then moving on right here to my ornamentals. They all look extremely beautiful. My what are these? Begonias are beautiful. These are my succulents. I have a ton of succulents. It started off with one little tiny plant. I stuck the succulent all throughout the garden, and you can see they're all lush. My red button ginger is extremely lush. This was half dead at the other house. I brought it over, stuck it under here, and I can definitely separate this and put it throughout the gardens. This is absolutely lovely. So certain things love the rain and did very well. It all depends on what your plants like. Anyway, guys, just wanted, oh, and also my mandevilla, they like dry feet. So this has been sitting here. It was beautiful when I brought it here a month ago. Now it's completely dried up, and this is really because of the excess rain. But I'm gonna cut it back. Can't hurt to cut it back, and we're gonna see if it comes back. This one I'm not sure of, but I'm cutting it back, and we'll see. I cut all the leaves off so that way it can focus on giving us some new leaves. What another option that you can do if you see that the plants are water stressed, if you have a way of bringing them indoors or bring them onto a covered patio, if the time is very rainy, you can do that. In this case, I don't have that option to take it inside, so these are gonna just have to toughen it up and ride through this rain. All right, so now that we've done all our pruning and our spraying, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and feed the plant. I'm not gonna water the leaves. What you can do is tomorrow or a couple days after, you can water the actual leaves, because with this liquid fish fertilizer, the nutrients go directly into the leaves. But because I just did a lot of spraying of the leaves, I'm just gonna water the roots to give them a little bit of energy. So I'm gonna go through, water all my plants, water try, focus on the leaves since I just sprayed the neem oil, and then in a couple days I'll give it another hit of this fish fertilizer to get everything going. All right, guys, so that's it for now. Till next time, let's continue to plant, grow, and eat together. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to share this information. Don't keep this information to yourself. It's good to have your friends all growing with you. All right, guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram also. Till next time, bye now.